Hello and welcome. I'm Zilla, and this is my stream, Ancient Gaming, where I play video games with ancient studies content and I talk about it. This is part 11 of my playthrough of Okami, a game about Japanese folklore and mythology. And if you are new here, welcome. If you're back, it's lovely to see you. Feel free to say hello in chat. I'd love to hear from you. Also joining us today is my cat Freya, who wants all of the attention, so please give her lots of love. So if you would like to start from the beginning of my playthrough of Okami, or if you would like to see my other ancient gaming streams, I do keep all of the recordings on my YouTube channel along with my other content. You can find all of the links to that and my socials below the bottom of the screen. And if you do not wish to be spoiled, I do recommend that you go start from the beginning. Otherwise, welcome. I'm going to give you a brief intro to where we are in the game, and then we'll get playing. So, Okami is a game in which we are the punny great goddess Amaterasu. Okami meaning great god. Embodied as a wolf. Okami meaning wolf. We are wandering around the benighted land of Nippon, an old name for Japan, and freeing it from the influence of the eight-headed serpent demon Orochi, a traditional demon spirit. I've been calling them demons just as the closest equivalent in English. These are yokai or oni, or oni are a specific kind of yokai, basically. Yokai means supernatural spirit. It can include ghosts. It can include wacky monsters, ogres. It can include benevolent spirits, tricksters, walking pieces of furniture, women with necks that curve around, all kinds of things. Some of them are evil, some of them are neutral, some of them are benevolent. And we, as the great goddess Amaterasu, have the power over all of them, but we have to reclaim our powers in the form of celestial brushstrokes that we can paint onto the world. We are accompanied by the talkative and interesting great artist Isun, a Tom Thumb-like character from Japanese folklore who does our verbalizing for us when we meet other characters. Right now we are in the Sasa Sanctuary, a spiritual hot springs. If you've ever seen Spirited Away, think of it kind of like that. So it's run by a family of sparrow people. Seems to be sort of a Yakuza-like feeling, or like the boss of the area is the head of the household. We did the family a service by freeing the youngest daughter from captivity by a pair of harmful cranes. Oh yeah, and we get to feed animals. Doing things like feeding animals and restoring the landscape gives us praise, which we can use to increase our stats. We only have 40 right now, so we're probably not really going to do anything with that. So, into Sasa Sanctuary we go. Let's see what we find. We have lots and lots of people in the sparrow household. So here's the mistress of the inn, or of the sanctuary. She's got a little flower in her hair. She's wearing a beautiful kimono, greeting the guest. and she is a hostess. Um, so for whatever reason, in many cultures across the world, spas and things like this are somewhat associated with other bodily needs, shall we say. Oh, these appear to be lockers where you can put your clothing and your belongings so that they will be safe while you enjoy the baths. So, a place like this you might expect to find, you will certainly find, as you just saw a waitress running around with a platter of food, you will certainly have your hunger catered to. You will be able to have a lovely spa experience, and depending on exactly what the context is, you might expect to find also a brothel. And the word hostess in Japanese culture does not always, but can certainly imply that somebody is like there are these clubs called host clubs, where, I mean, men or women, sometimes more ambiguous figures, will be there just to pretend that they're romancing you. So there's a little bit of implied romantic attention, potentially. I don't think that's actually what's embodied here, as she seems to be more of the, welcome to use our services type than the actually doing the services type. We've got a bath attendant here. This is Sparrow Inn. Yes, Chun is the beautiful flower of the family, which means basically that she is the father's favorite. She's impulsive and arrogant and is used to being spoiled. So everybody was in chaos, and some of them still look like they are. So here we have some more proof that this is not actually in the human world, this is in the spirit world. Just like in Spirited Away, this is not quite accessible, but sometimes visible from the human realm, and this is where spirits and yokai find themselves and go to rest. I wonder if you have anything else to say. No. What about you? Okay, so some humans do come here. Who else have we got? We've got looks like a guardsman. Ah. Okay, so they're having trouble getting guests. This guy who I thought was walking around patrolling arrogantly is actually walking around trying to fend off the doldrums with it looks like a ledger book in his hand. So you'll notice that he appears to be wearing pants of some kind, unlike the more common kimono style that you see on, for instance, our hostess here. In the setting of a bathing house, you might see some less formal clothing. People wearing the sort of comfortable shorts and yukata of exercise clothes, or even just bathrobes, depending on who they are and where exactly they are. I wonder if we can get a view of this guest book. You'll notice that everybody is wearing, that the servants are wearing this uniform that is those sort of more casual pants-like objects, and a top that has the house crest, the face of the head of the family, on the jacket. So you can see in the ledger book that actually the writing is like I was saying a couple streams ago. It is vertical, so that's interesting. We've got a very bamboo themed experience here. That's not surprising since we were talking about magical bamboo coming from this area. We've got a lot of these sort of meditative water fountains. Basically, the bamboo is hollow, and once it fills enough to tip, it it will spill all the water out and then start again. It makes this nice little clunk sound. But all the walls are decorated. Not only are they made of bamboo. Oh, there are rats to feed. Hello, rats. What do rats eat? Let's try seeds. I guess the rats like seeds. Rats like most food in real life, but I bet that of the 4 choices we have here, that was the best. But we've also got these paintings of bamboo and giant bamboo leaves. And even on the lanterns up there, they're bamboo patterned. So, let's see. We've got our little our head servant. You can see she is female. She's got another of those hairpins, just like the hostess. And she's in full kimono. She's carrying a bowl of rice. That is not uncommon. So rice often stands in for a full meal, but it can also be, used as a snack. But rice, the word for meal is actually the word rice in Japanese, gohan. So servants are very busy. Oh, there are 3 of them running around. We have a different flower, a different kimono. Never had a wolf guest here before. Very cute. And another one with the little buns instead of a flower. She's very happy that Chun's home. They're worried about that old bamboo craftsman. We did meet him earlier, so we'll probably run into him again. We've got a lot of directions to go. Is there anybody else bustling about up here? Oh, another servant, much slower. She is bored with so few guests. Alright, so this way is probably the actual bath, since it's much easier to have those on the ground floor. And also we see that the doorway has one of those inner curtains that often signal the way to a bath or a place of relaxation. One thing about Japanese public baths is you're expected to go in naked with other people. Sometimes they're divided by sex, sometimes they're family style, sometimes they're quite small. But there's a concept in Japanese culture called naked friendship, because in the onsen, without the trappings of your day-to-day life, everybody is just a person in the bath, just down to their skin. And so you can become naked friends with anybody from a nobleman to a gravedigger in the bath. Which is, of course, why the Yakuza have tattoos on their skin, right? And why it's such a big taboo to have. Oh. This looks like a problem. So this looks very much like it is meant to be full of water. Looks like he's trying to do some kind of a dance, a ritual dance to bring the water back, would be my guess. Yeah, so hot springs are quite common in Japan, given all of the volcanic activity in the area, it being on the Pacific Rim. So, some kind of a prayer. I love the little metaphorical rain cloud. It shows us how he's feeling. So, this idea of this little dance, of, you know, praying for the water to return, this is a very common idea in more animistic religions of, you know, you expend your effort and your dance and your devotion to get the nature spirits who have apparently taken offense to, you know, to placate them, to ask them for a favor, to ask them to return. And in Japan in particular, in Shinto, there are a lot of dances. We saw this earlier with the old man in Kamiki Village who did the bloom dance, and the peach tree would bloom in response to his dance. In less animistic religions, this sort of worship tends to become focused in a centralized location of worship rather than at the places where something is wanted. So, like a church or a synagogue. If you have a monotheistic religion where there is one God overseeing it all, then all your prayers should be, you know, are often like concentrated into group worship. What I mean by animistic is that the belief that there are spirits in the world, different spirits around, and this is very common around the world. Shinto is not at all the only one. Like a really good comparison would be to ancient Rome, where you could get people talking about, like, if you look at like, I think it's Cato the Elder's manuscript of like prescriptions or for how to pray to different Roman gods. You get him specifying things like to the god of the lintel and the door frame and the door itself and the obverse and the reverse, and like just all to tiny gods of different places. So clearly we need to help the bath attendant with his little tiny glasses. Poor bird. It is Mr. Bamboo. He is here to get bamboo to carve, so at least somebody is happy. Apparently there's a festival coming. It's the old bamboo dude. It's only been like a few minutes. Clearly he feels some personal responsibility for this part of Sasa Sanctuary. He's considering self-sacrifice to please the gods. This is not normal. This is parody. Okay, so apparently that bamboo tube on his back is not a backpack after all, but a dowsing rod. I don't know of any Japanese stories of dowsing rods, but they're certainly fairly common around the world, so I wouldn't be surprised. The idea is basically that you have some object that is sensitive to unseen forces, and maybe it's sensing minerals in the earth, as he said. Maybe it's sensing water in a dry place. Maybe it can be tuned to seek out particular people or things. It's certainly not the first time we've seen something like that in this game. We do, after all, have the canine detector. It's a bit ridiculous, though. This instance is a bit ridiculous. Hi, Johnny One Take. Dowsing rods are totally legit. The cops use them to find drugs. No, I think that's their attuned noses that they're using there. You know, I feel the need to show you Freya again because all cats are beautiful. Right, baby? All cats are beautiful. Okay, so we're gonna have a little digging game. This will be fine. Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I do that? Okay. Okay. So we go in the tunnel. We fight things. And we dig. I don't know how good I will be at this. Okay. So, a proper tutorial. Try to get him as deep as he wants. The square button breaks rocks. Okay. I don't know what all that means, but okay. There's a time limit. The buds will give me more time. Ah, I can break rocks, and I can make him turn around using brush techniques. I think I've got it. Well, down is good. Come on. Ow. I don't know what he needs to get out of there. Okay, nothing. So, dig. No, you don't go this way. You go this way. No, wrong one. Down. Good, your face. No, what are you doing? Turn around. Turn around. There we go. I did see that there are more messages, but apparently this game is timed, so I shall have to break them. Alright. Now what? Okay. I guess we got it? Alright. They literally bought thousands of devices that were empty antennas that supposedly detected drugs. It was a scam they willingly participated in order to have free text for conducting profiling searches. That I believe. I would 100% believe that, yeah. I hadn't heard that one, but honestly, the cops regularly consult psychics and just straight up lie about things. They have weird superstitions. The list is endless, and it is baffling to me. It's baffling to me, honestly. Like, there's so much proof that things like this are scams and that they hurt people. We waste so much money on things that are just there's a whole there's your problem bonus episode about dowsing scams historically from historical through the modern day. What's there's your problem? I have not heard of this. Is this a podcast? I think I did just recently hear about something that was called that. Trying to place it. But hey, we got the water flowing again, so that's all that matters, right? Oh, you see that very deep bow of appreciation. He is so excited. We can come in whenever we want, which is better news for a video podcast. Okay, fun. Highly recommend. Okay, yeah, I do appreciate video podcasts. For some reason, I've never been able to get into just straight podcasts, although I like being on them. They're fun. I'll dance the hot spring hop forevermore. That prayer dance he was doing, presumably. Yeah, check him out. It's happening again? Does that mean that we have one of the constellations in here? That would be great. I could use new brushstroke. Hot springs coming from natural heated sources as they do are often open to the sky. Because you can use them in even the coldest of weather. Actually, one of my favorite experiences I've ever had was sitting in a natural hot spring in Japan, entirely exposed to the sky, alone, in the dark, with the snow falling on my face, and it was just gorgeous. Hot springs are great. I hate that we don't have them here. Oh, a serpent. A serpent is a water spirit in Japan. You can see it's in a little bottle of water. We have Nuregami. but it's for the shape, like the shape of a river. So we're probably going to get a water-based power, which is great. Thanks, Johnny. So listen to this. I'm playing Ghosts of Tsushima, which features hot springs that raise your max health. Yeah, a lot of Japanese games have hot springs raising your max health. They're considered to be healing places. Not only in terms of refreshment, but in terms of like keeping away bad, well, keeping away disease and ill health, cleansing bad spirits. Like in Breath of the Wild, you like sit in a hot spring and your health will tick up a little bit at a time. But it's really common, and mineral water has been thought of all over the world as a curative. So it's not surprising that other games that have a strong element of Japanese culture would use hot springs as a healing area. Nudegami, god of water. I would not expect nude to be the word for water, but maybe it's maybe it's another reading. Usually water is read mizu. Let me see if I can find out real quick. I had encountered Sui, so... Nude. This is not what I was expecting. Or not what I was hoping for. Hold on a second. Try a different source. Nude. Something wet. Okay, so it's wet, not water. Well, that explains why I didn't recognize it, because that one's not one of the more common words. And like I've said before, as much as I am enjoying talking about Japanese folklore and Japanese culture, I am not the expert. I am someone who did study it, but a long time ago. I don't live in Japan. This is not my culture. So if you want an expert opinion on this, there are other people you can follow. And you can go learn about Japan from many, many people. There's a lot out there. But this is a fun way to think about how it crosses over into our common lexicon with games like Okami. So we have the god of wetness. And yes, that does have a sexual connotation in Japanese as well. And someone who is so sex is not nearly as taboo in Japan as it is in the U.S. And most other Anglophone countries. Violence is a lot more taboo than sex is. So the idea that this bathhouse has a little bit of a sexual connotation in general. Yes, Rathmore, exactly, the god of moist. Good to see you. Hopefully with a little bit less of an off-puttingness for certain people. So that is the kanji for wet, as I was just looking it up. So we've got the water spout brush technique, We're probably going to be able to put this fellow out, as he has finally managed to set himself on fire after he stopped wanting to. Yes, we noticed. Making jokes about how tasty he'll be. Oh dear. Yes, figured that out. Place your brush over water. Draw a line. The water's power will pass into the line, creating a stream. So it works just like the vine technique, it looks like. His clothes aren't even singed. Stop, drop, and roll. Yeah, you'd think he'd just go into the bath. It's right there. Okay, so if I draw a line up from bubbles, I can create a column of water. That will allow me to jump up to new places. So, what have we got up here? A digging spot. That seems appropriate after the little digging game. Alright. Oh, and we've got that giant bamboo spout that, I mean, presumably it does not actually feed the spring, given that it comes from underground, but... Ah! Here we go, an explanation. Well, there's nothing pouring in. So I bet that we can... Yep, there it goes. Oh, and there was a button beneath it. How convenient for me! I didn't even notice the button. So I wonder what these folks have to say now. Okay, so there's a bamboo thicket back there. I guess if we had talked to them first, we would have encountered some desires for opening the bamboo thicket. Okay. Oh, that was the way out. We want to go to... Oh no, that is the bamboo thicket. The way out is through the curtain. Okay. Let's see about this bamboo thicket. It is beautiful. It is beautiful here. Oh. Oh no, I'm out of seeds. Ah, I can't feed the birds. I'm gonna have to go back to one of the merchants. We've got another statue here. So these little traveling statues, shaped like little Buddhas. You can see the long ears. We can leave them offerings later on, I believe. It's a fairly big thicket. Somebody up here is upset. It's a large sparrow wearing an onigiri covered kimono. So onigiri are these little rice balls. You've shaped them into triangles with some kind of filling inside, and then you wrap the edges with wow, nori, the sort of like seaweed paper that you see on maki rolls, to indicate what kind they are, to make it easier to pick up for decoration. onigiri are yummy, especially if they have tasty filling. Um, so, yeah, I do love that the options, Rathmore, are listen or bite. That's pretty good. So, we seem to have some sort of bamboo weaving going on here. You can see that little basket hat that Ty is wearing. So, what's up with you? Apparently, despite their large size, they're coming off as young. I don't know whether Ty is meant to be male or female, or if it matters. Probably does not matter. Except that I was going to comment on the clothing, but kimono can be worn by either gender. Um, and there are definitely like trans people and third gender people in Japanese literature, in Japanese history. They're a lot more downplayed in the modern world after the stark Western colonialism of the modern age. Um, but but they are wearing kimono, so it's kind of hard to tell. They're certainly not wearing the garb of the servants. Um, they're being so mean to this poor kid. Um, but men crying is also not punished the way that it is in Western masculinity. Um, I always think it's very strange how people who are like, oh, like, you know, the past is all manly men who never cried, and it's like, yeah, go read the Odyssey, see how often Odysseus cries, because it's like all the time. Although that's actually nothing compared to if you read the Argonautica and see how often Jason cries. Oh my goodness, that man cannot stop weeping for 5 minutes. I don't. Medea, girl, you can do so much better. I have a particular hatred of Jason. Of that Jason. That's so rude, Isun. Take is the Japanese word for bamboo. So this is presumably some kind of pet. Maybe a dog. We did have that dog named Plum earlier, Ume. Yeah. Yep. So, oh, our canine detector is activated. So, somewhere up here, there is a doggo. A doggo who should not be here at all. Tigers! Oh, I love them. I love them so much. Hi, kitty. Ah. Tigers are awesome. I dearly would love to pet a tiger, and I also never want to be in a position where I can pet a tiger. Like, tigers that are raised in captivity, they just really should not be there. Uh-oh. Bamboo is flashing. Are we gonna have to, like, run into it in order? Oh, okay. What if we just cut it down? I guess we got it. So that's the second time we've cut open a giant bamboo and found a dog inside. Last time he was mad because we woke him up from his nap. Let's see if this one is too. So his real name is probably not Take, or if it is, it means something other than bamboo. Bambooch. That's pretty good, Rathmore. Yep, so he's mad at me for holding the canine tracker. Oh, we're gonna have to fight him. And his real name is Guy. Not surprising. Yeah, sure. I don't really mind. Ow. I should probably. Oops. Will you stay still? Oh, that's what's hitting me. Thud. I don't think I did too well, but that's okay. I don't know what's up with these dogs. Most dogs love it when their person calls them. At least as far as I've ever seen. What is she doing to these dogs that they don't want to come? I mean, okay, that's fair. I mean, you could have just said you need help. A duty orb. Okay. Bite. Bite. I bite you. Okay. Suppose it'll all make sense eventually. We've got these giant bamboo, which I'm sure are exactly what the old bamboo guy was looking for. Hello, kitties. And I can't feed the sparrows because I'm out. We've got this woven bamboo. I guess it's a table. It looks more like a half-finished basket to me. A little pond, a little bench. Nothing too spectacular here. Really gotta find some seeds. Come on with you. I mean, we do appear to be covered in grime. And there's a festival. Oh, the Kamiki Festival. And we get the Kamiki theme here. Oh, hey, and there's some people in the hot spring. Night of the full moon. Ah, commemorating the initial defeat of Orochi. So the festival probably gonna happen whenever we finish the quest. So, as we know, it's the 100th year of the initial defeat, and Orochi has been partially freed. Gotta remember to go back to Kamiki Village that day. A mermaid coin? I don't know what that's for. So, mermaid springs. They say you can pass between them by tossing in one of the coins. And we've talked about mermaids a little, and how mermaids work in Japanese culture. And their particular powerful nature spirits. And you should not kill and eat them, but if you do, you'll gain eternal life, but won't be good. One of the things that they apparently do is some amount of travel assistance. So, we finally got an instant teleport system, assuming we find more mermaid springs. We did assist with a mermaid spring in Shinshu Field, I believe. So we can swim in hot springs without our health meter going down, which is great news. So presumably for American sensibilities, these folks are wearing their towels in the hot springs. So, what is it that you need? I always think of Kaguya when I talk about the moon. Oh, how she used to love gazing up at the moon. Alright, I think we've done all we can in here. Shall we go find out what's up on the upper floors? Oh. We have an elevator. I didn't realize we had an elevator. Ah. An elevator up to the boss's house. So we have these bully boy underlings. And the little Princess Chun sitting there. And Big Boss Sparrow with his eye patch. Johnny One Take. I assume it's like saunas, as Howard Stark famously said in an episode of Ancient Carver. You don't wear your skivvies in a schwitz. Oh wow, I need to watch Agent Carter. I really do. um, I didn't realize that Howard Stark was a Yiddish speaker. But yeah, no, as I was saying earlier, hot springs are for naked time, explicitly. Ah, but up. So the sort of silent, intimidating leader is fairly common. If you've ever played like Final Fantasy VIII, I think it was, and the main character just says ellipsis like all the time, is meant to sort of evoke this archetype of the like I'm too powerful and strong to speak to you peons. Chirp. Oh, that's very nice. It's hard to tell who it's pinging on. Baka. You can just hear it in Japanese. Master Scruffy? How rude. Ooh, that's pretty. Oh, I don't think we've seen... Oh, we have seen a dragonfly bee before. Steel soul sake. Nice. Not that I'm prone to remembering items when I'm doing this. Johnny One Take says of Howard Stark, presumably. He's an old school New Yorker. There's a strong cultural influence. Yeah, so depending on the era. But many Jews immigrated to New York and the other major ports, but New York is quite famous for it. And the New York accent developed a bit of a Yiddish tint during World War II and following. One of the few places that was letting Jews in, albeit not very many, if you follow the history. Also says, Eat Lead, The Return of Matt Hazard is a horrible game, but they do a parody JRPG in a scene. The main character's like, what the fuck is with all the ellipses? Do I say that line? How do you say an ellipsis? Yes. Yeah. Good to know. I've never heard of that one, but you always have you always have games that I've never heard of, so that's always fun. A little carving of a bear. There's a lot of stuff. Coral. We missed one? I feel like we missed one. Nope, got them all. What's back here? Can I go back here? No, these are walls, not doors, apparently. Or at least they are to me. Okay. So, what's in here? We've got a giant daruma. So somebody has unfinished business. Oh hey, I apparently ate some sa egg rolls. I guess I'm gonna steal all his food. I can at least listen to him before he steals his food. Oh, a merchant! Excellent! Maybe he can sell me some seeds. Yeah. I can get some more mermaid coins. Probably should get some more mermaid coins if I'm going to be traveling around. Seeds. I don't think I was really out of anything else. What do I have in here? I don't really want to sell things. Cakes. Those don't look like cakes. Those look like dumplings. Specifically, they look like man, or the Chinese name is bao. These very fluffy buns with often a meat filling, but sometimes a sweet one. And I don't know why they'd call them cakes. They don't look like cakes. It says they're filled with beans, so I bet that is referring to sweet red beans, also known as azuki, the Japanese name for them. I always thought growing up that I hated beans, but it turns out I just don't like savory beans all that much. When I was in Japan, I ate so many sweet red bean things that by the time I came back, I'm like, you know, I can kind of tolerate other beans now. Like, I've gotten used to the beanness of them. There are also other colors of sweet beans that are often used in Japanese and other East Asian cuisines. There are green and white, I believe. So, fruits, I mean, they just look like pears. They might be what we call Asian pears. Rathmore, I love red bean stuff. Yes! Yeah, and like, sweet red bean onigiri are great. Yeah. Oh look, a game of Go. The pieces are way too big. So Go is one of Japan's classic board games. The other being shogi, which is a little bit more like chess. Go is a game of territory control. It's very simple and elegant in its mechanics, and incredibly difficult and strategic, and I am really bad at it. Lawn Jenga. I don't know what lawn Jenga is. Is that just Jenga with really giant pieces? But yeah, Go pieces are about like that big. And traditionally you pick them up actually with these two fingers, as if you're using chopsticks. You pick it up and hold it like this. Rathmore says, isn't lawn Jenga just building a shed? Alright, what else have we got? Got a room over here. Somebody walking around it. Oh, we've got some rats we can feed. Why not? Why shouldn't we eat everything in sight? I mean, let's not eat the rats. Gotta befriend the rats. This giant melon looks good. Yeah! Yum! Sweet and juicy. I am absolutely determined to eat whatever the heck this is, but I can't. It looks like it's wrapped in leaves, so it's probably some kind of rice. So that's that side. Anything on the other side? Oh, the same thing. These. You see that every room is a little bit different. Like they all have a wall scroll. They all have a. These look like irises in a bamboo pot. But they're in a slightly different arrangement than they were in other rooms. So that's very typical of the, you know, the mindset of everything being slightly unique shows that you have put care into its arrangement, which is sort of unlike how we tend to think in the US at least about making something elegant. You want things to be symmetrical, and it's easier if they're all just copies of the same thing because nobody's ever going to see more than one at a time and all of that jazz. But that sentiment of uniformity has never taken hold in Japanese art. And here we have a shamisen. Oh, I guess it had money in it. But I love that you can just kind of like make the strings go. What does it say about it? I would love to hear a song or two from that as well. So, traditional Japanese string instrument. Honestly sounds a little bit like a banjo, but the aesthetic of music you create with it is very different. And it's taken a lot more seriously than a banjo is taken in American music stylings. Oh, we got a nice little maneki neko here. And one more room to explore. With a guest in it. Oh, it's our hunter friend. We got some dango, which I associate with festival foods. They just call them dumplings here. This guy is very happy. Got a huge bowl of rice. And in Run by Sparrows, he's like, am I dreaming? So very much like in Spirited Away, right? Where it's just not a human place. But this guy looks like our hunter friend from Agatha. And you see again, like this is a different style. And oh, we've got some kind of meat presented here. Most likely pork. Pork is one of the more common meats in Japan. Pigs can be kept in a very small area and fed almost anything. So fish and pork are much more common than, and chicken, but much more common than cows, which require large flat land to be kept. So we have a servant with little braided pigtails. Oh, when I was just a girl, a hunter came to my aid when I was injured. I never imagined the same hunter would stay here as a guest. That's very sweet. Cute little story. So, big bowl of rice. A roasted fish. And hodgepodge. I don't know the word hodgepodge in English, let alone what they're trying to convey. Honestly, it looks a little bit like roasted daikon, maybe some other vegetables. Now I'm just curious. Hodgepodge. A variant, a British variant of hodgepodge. Okay, all right. And can often mean a stew with meat and vegetables. So it is probably some kind of mixed stew with meat and veggies. So here we have what are these called again? A koto. That's yes. Here we have a koto. Another. Yeah. Apparently, hodgepodge is specifically a UK variant. So we have a koto here, another traditional Japanese instrument. It's plucked like a harp, but it can also be picked with a pick. And you see a lot of variations on this style of instrument throughout East Asia. There are some very common like common variations of this in China. But beautiful design on the instruments. Would love to hear them. We're not hearing anything like that in the instrumentation. But that appears to be what I can do in here. Oh, wait, I need to go back and feed those sparrows. But that does seem like a good place to sort of wrap up for the day. So once I am done with my little feeding the animals quest and tidying up any XP, by which I mean praise, I will be calling it for the day. So thank you all for joining me. Thank you for chatting. It's been a lot of fun. And as far as I know, I will be seeing you next week for another round of Okami and talking about yet more. Oh, it's falling tonight. I do love the little nighttime animations. But yes, so I will see you soon. And hey, keep learning, friends.